This is sung by Narottam Thakur Mahashai. It's called Vaishnava Vigyapti. Vaishnava Vigyapti. Begins with the line Hari Hari Bipale. I'll sing that. Hari Hari, Hari Hari Bipale. Hari Hari Bipale Janam Gainu. Manusha Janam Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya. Radha Krishna na bhajiya. Manusha janam paya. Radha Krishna na bhajiya. Radha Krishna na bhajiya. Janiya shuniya bisha koinu. Janiya shuniya bisha koinu. Golokeda Premadana Hari Nama Sankirtan. Hari Nama Sankirtan. Roti na janmilo Kene tain. Roti na janmilo kene tain. Roti na janmilo Shangshara bitarare. Shangshara bishanale. Dibani shahiya jale. Judaite na koinu upai. koinu pa Churaite na koinu upai Churaite Prajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shai Prajendra Nandana Jai Shache Shuta Hoilo Shai Shache Shuta Hoilo Shai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dinahinam Jotachilla Hari Name Hudarilo Hari Name Udarilo Dinahinam Jotachilo Hari Name Udarilo Name Tara Shoki Jagai Madhai Tashake Jogai Madhai Ha ha Prabhu Nanda Shuta Rishabhanu Shuta Juta Suta Rishabhanu Shuta Juta Koruna Koro Eba Karuna Koro Eba Narottama Dashakai Nateliho Rangapai Nateliho Rangapai Narottama Dashakai Nateliho Rangapai Nateliho Rangapai Toma ache ama Toma bino ke ache ama Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Gopi Jana Balabha Jai Giri Bharadhari Jai Giri Bharadhari Jai Gopi Janabala Giri Bharadhari Jai Giri Bharadhari Jashodanandana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Jai Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tirabana Chare Jai Kunja Vihari Jai Kunja Vihari Jai Jamuna Tirabhanachari Jai Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Shtatar Saraswati Bhacharnar Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki ISKCON Protishtatarya Śrīmad Prabhupada ki Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda ki Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki Srishnita Gaur Shritana Brahmanande Bandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganaraganatam Vedang Tangsha Jivam Shadvaitam Shabhadutam Parijan Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shagalalita Shibishakang Vedangscha Mantra Guru Ajokta Shikha Guru Ganta Charane Age Korea Bondan Vancha Kapatru Bishta Krupashan Devacha Patitanam Pavanebo Vaishnavanamo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavari Paschata Desha Tarane Shri Prabhupada ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Krishna Swadam Upagade Dhamma Jnana Divishaha Kalonashtadrisham Esha Purana Kanonoditaha Agno Gurav Atmani Cha Sarvabhuteshvarakshajam Bhutaishvadanmadvipashed Apravishtam pravishtavat Agno gudav atmani cha Sarvabhuteshu adhokshajam Bhutaishvadanmadvipashed Apravishtam pravishtavat. Please chant. Matri Mandali. Sarvabhuteshu dakshajam Bhutaishvadanmadvipashed Agno in the fire, Gudo in the spiritual master, Atmani in oneself, Cha also, Sarvabhuteshu in every living entity, Adhokshajam, Supreme Personality of Godhead who cannot Supreme Personality of Godhead who cannot be seen or perceived with the material eyes or other material senses, Bhutai, with all living entities, Swadhamadvi, along with his lordship's paraphernalia, Pashet, one should see, Apravishtam, not entered, Pravishtavat, also entered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ISKCON Founder-Acharya Śrīmad Prabhupada ki. One should realize that in the fire, in the spiritual master, in oneself, and in all living entities, in all circumstances and conditions, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, has simultaneously entered and not entered. He is situated externally and internally as the full controller of everything. Realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's omnipresence is the perfect realization of the absolute truth to be attained through the study of Vedic literatures. As stated in Brahma Samhita 535, Andantarashta Paramanu Chayantarashtam. The Lord is situated within the universe, within the heart of every living entity, and also within the atom. We should understand that whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present, He is present with all His paraphernalia, including His name, form, associates, and servants. Living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus one should understand that since the Supreme Lord has entered the atom, the living entities are also there. One must accept the inconceivable quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for no one can understand from the material point of view how the Lord is all-pervasive and yet is situated in His own abode, Goloka Vrindavan. This realization is possible if one strictly follows the regulative principles of Asram, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says in this regard, Pravishta Sarvagata, Pravishta Tva tu anurupavan evam dvirupa bhagavan Hare eko janardana. Supreme Personality of Godhead in His original form has not entered everything, Apravishta, but in His impersonal form He has entered Pravishta. Thus He has entered and not entered simultaneously. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, wherein the Lord says, Maya tutamidam sarvam jagat abhyaktamurtina machstani sarvabhutani na chaham teshu avashtitaha. By me in my unmanifest form, The entire universe is pervaded, all beings are in me, but I am not in them. The Lord can defy himself. Thus there is variety and unity. Ekatvam bahutvam. Srila Prabhupada ki. Mukam kardadi bhachalam pangam langa tegidim jat kripatam hambande Shri Gurum dinatarinam. Whenever the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present, he is present with all his paraphernalia, including his name, form, associates and servants. Very interesting. Because it says here, quoting from Brahma Samhita, antarashta paramanu. That means the paramanu atom. Paramanu, extremely small. Paramanu, atom. Andantarashta. He is within the atom. Chai antarashtam, and everything is within him. So just think of that. It's inconceivable that he is within the atom and everything is in him. So that means everything is within the atom. He is within the atom and everything is wherever he is. Prabhupada says wherever he is, we should understand that wherever he is present with all his paraphernalia, including his name, form, associates and servants. So that's all in the atom. So that's, how can you even conceive that philosophically? It gets to a point where brain just explodes. It's called achincha tatta. It's just, so just to do bhajan and chant Hare Krishna. Pantashtukoti shatabachara sampragamyor. If you go through the the Munis and the Gyanis, how does it start? Even you can say they conceive, they try to consider for thousands of years, and never. So praptiya pravarachincha abhichinta tattva. They never come to the conclusion. Abhichinta tattva. They can never understand. Pantashtu koti, pantashtu. On this path of speculation, some pantashtu koti, shatabatsha sampragamya, shatabatsha means hundreds of thousands of years. And still you never come to the conclusion. That's what the yogis are doing in meditation. Well, they're trying to understand this, how everything is within me and it's all within him. And he also has lila where he doesn't even conceive of any of this. Hey guys, just gopi, gopagon, just give me a minute. We got to do a bit of philosophical adjustment here with the material reality, and he never even thinks of it. He plays with the cows. He's not within the material world. So wherever he appears with his paraphernalia, his name, his servants, wherever he appears. But they don't even realize. They appear along with him, but they don't even recognize him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was one incident. They're eternally associating with him. We just sang the song. We didn't go through the whole translation, but Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shay. Brajendra Nandan, that's Nandadulal, the darling son of the king of Braj. Brajendra Nandan Jai, that one who is the darling of the king of Braj, Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shay. He's become the son of Shachimata. Palarama Hoilo Nitai. Lord Balaram become Nitai. But Sachimata, she doesn't know that she was Jashodama. Jagannath Mishra, he doesn't think I'm Nanda Baba coming again. Krishna, and now you're a Jagannath Sutta, the son of a Brahmin. They forget. Can you imagine that? In your whole life, you're in Krishna Leela, you're in Vrindavan, and Krishna's your son. And he's going to the cow, pasturing grounds, and in the morning your wife is bathing him, and you forget all that. You can forget. There was one time when Jagannath Mishra is sitting outside in Sachiyangan, in a courtyard of Mother Sachiyangan, a courtyard of Sachimata. Jagannath Mishra is sitting there. He calls out, bring my book. To Gaudhari, he calls out, bring my book. Oh, hearing Gaudhari, he's very excited. Wow. You have to give the next generation responsibility. They become inspired. Oh, which book? Oh, he's looking in the library. The book. He's running out, gives to Jagannath Mishra, and they hear the sound of the Nupur Dhoni, the sound of ankle bells. And Jagannath Mishra, he's astonished. Wow. He says to Sachimata, from where is the sweet sound of the ankle bells coming? Our son doesn't wear ankle bells. And ching, 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 as he's bringing a book. They're looking here and there. Brahman, Brahmani, Chaturdike, they're looking all around. Where is the Nupur sound coming from? They were astonished. They were astonished. He's not thinking, well, he's Nanda, he was my son, and he's Krishna. Not thinking that. And then they go inside the house, and then they see that all around the Mati Kutir. Mati Kutir is made of clay. The house where Sachinandam was born is made of clay, There's no bricks, no steel, iron, cement. It's made of clay. So around the house there's the imprints of footprints on the clay, on the imprints. Have you ever lived in clay cottage? You ever spent time in Bangladesh many times in the clay? Even it's not cottage, but the floor is clay. The floor is clay. And they build a little house on top of the clay, on top of the ground, on the ground. No flooring. They just build it up a little bit high. You go and you see in Mayapur still, and you'll see cottages like that. Now they may use for storage or rannago or cooking, but it's just clay, and it's just a few levels up, so that it doesn't get too wet in the wet season. So the floor is a little damp sometimes. So they see the footprints all around the house. Footprints, special footprints that only only are visible on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The special signs, just like we have, on the feet, your fingerprints, and it is unique. So Sri Hari and Sri Radhika, they have special on the feet, the special signs that no other being has. No other being. Like they have a fish, they have the goat, Brajra, the Baksha, Bajra, Anukush, that's for controlling an elephant. Bajra, that's the lightning bolt. Other things, the grain, auspicious signs. And Jagannath Mishra, is he looking around the house, he sees all these footprints. He's astonished. He bows down. He bows down to the footprints. Yeah. So astonished. He bows down out of awe and reverence. He bows down to the footprints. And Shachi Devi, she says, Prabhu, and he says, Devi, this is our last birth. This is our last birth. That the deity, they were in Jagannath, Jagannath Mishra's house, Shachiyangan, they're worshipping different deities. Adhokshaja Vishnu, still you can see if you go to Jogpit. Adhokshaja forearm Vishnu, that was found during the excavation of the temple and actually was used as evidence that this is the actual birth site of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They excavated the deity of Adhokshaja Vishnu. Also they're worshipping Shalagram Shila, Damodar Shalagram Shila. So Jagannath Mishra says, Devi, this is our last birth. The deity is so satisfied with the puja that we offer that at night the Shalagram Shila, he says at night he assumes the form, the form, human-like form, and he wanders around our cottage. And he's so satisfied with our worship. So, Vishwarup Janani, O mother of Vishwarup. Vishwarup Janani, tomorrow you make a special offering of payash, mishti onno, and we'll do a special puja. This is how Vaishnavas live. Everything centered around a deity, and celebration means worship of the deity, a festival for the deity. So we'll do Panchagabba, Abhishek. Panchagabba, Abhishek. That's the 5 items, ingredients from a cow. Milk, yogurt, gomutra, cow urine, gobur, cow dung. That's it. So worship the deity, and festival is going on in this way. So this means that he says that this is our last birth. So he thinks he's an ordinary conditioned soul, even though he eternally appears as the father of Krishna. And actually, he's also the father of Krishna at that time, Because it's called Nitya Lila. It's not that, a few years ago we did that Lila and now we're moved on to the next stage. All the Leelas are constantly being performed. All the Leelas are constantly being performed. That's why hearing about them, we get purified. Because they're not material. They're not limited. They're not by any material conditioning. Like our time runs out. Our time runs out. But there's no there's no influence of time on the Lord's eternal Leela. What's that? Shurabi Abhayala. Nimesha Dako Ba Brajahi Nahi Tatrapi Napaya. What is that? Nimesha Dako Ba Brajahi Nahi Tatrapi. That time is never influencing the spiritual activity, the eternal spiritual. Nimesha Dako Ba Brajahi Tatrapi. The time never has an influence. There's no running out of time, no ending of the day. It's getting late, we better go. It's just... Time is, Prabhupada translates, time is inconspicuous by its absence in the spiritual reality. That means the Leelas are not restricted by time. That means they're constantly being performed simultaneously in so many, all the Leelas. So even Jagannath Mishra sitting there in Mayapur, still he's Nanda Baba and Krishna in Vrindavan. It's still going on at the same time. But he forgets. Even he's there in multiple places, the same person. But he forgets. That's inconceivable. That's called Jogmaya. We also forget and Mahamaya. We also forget Mahamaya. What's that? Purusha Prakriti Shtohi Punkti Prakriti Janganam Karanam Guna Shanga. Karanam Guna Shanga, as a result of association with the modes of nature. Karanam Guna Shanga Tad Asat Yoni Janmashu. We enjoy Bhunkte Prakriti, enjoy Bhunkte Prakriti. That's why we're here. Those are the senses. They give us some pleasure, limited. That's why we accepted the body, because of that chapal shuk that you get from the senses. We actually chose that, and we were given a body. And then we're thinking, good deal, our senses, tasty, and we can hear this, we can say this, we can touch that. Is that? Tarmadde jiva atilo bhamai. We sing it every morning. No one really thinks about what we're singing. We all go, it's the happiest song. Aniruddha Prabhu, Shushagatam. So we're enjoying that, and the different modes give pleasure. Like actually, I was thinking that if you take a bath and you put on tilak and you sit in a clean ashan and chant mantra, it's actually pleasurable. You sit, you take bath, you put on tilak, your fresh cloth, and you do achimam, you chant mantra. It's actually pleasurable. It's pleasing. It's enjoyable. It's called sattva-gun happiness. And Rajagun happiness, that's when you're on a highway, boom, you accelerate, and boom, you go past so many cars. Whoa, I'm getting ahead. You enjoy, Rajagun. And Tamagun, turn off the lights, don't disturb me. It's also enjoyment. How do you feel when the alarm rings? Because your happiness is broken, that's Tamagun. So we enjoy the gun, the modes. That's why we take the body, and it's all suited. You get the body according to your desires. That's another Gita verse. What's that? Shatram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam grahan maybe adishtaya manash chaham. According to your desire, you get shatram, ears, sparsha, touch, rasanam, tongue, grahanam, nose, to fulfill those desires, which are there carried on from so many, like the flavor, like the pollution in the air, and conceptions who I am, based upon the senses that you have. Conceptions who I am. You have an identity, false ego, based on the body that you got, the mentality. So you actually then you forget God. You forget, because you come here and you associate with material energy. That's the fine print. You'll get all this pleasure with the senses that we're providing, fine print, but you'll fall into illusion. And bhoga shaya prashaktanam, the more you become attached to that enjoyment, bhoga and power, I'm successful in this world, bhoga ashvaya, prashakdanam, attachment to that, taya parita cheta. Aparita means covering the consciousness. So you become more and more bewildered. So we try to reduce sense enjoyment because it bewilders you and you become more forgetful. That's called Mahamaya. But this is Yogamaya. They're not conditioned souls. They're so much in love with Sri Hari that they're not interested in enjoying in the modes of nature. They're interested in thinking about Him, associating with Him, hearing about Him, serving Him all the time. That's why they're eternal associates, because they're highly qualified. So how can they, he forgets completely. That's Yogamaya. Because otherwise that's Yogamaya serving the Leela. Otherwise how could he enjoy? How could in Damodar Leela, Damodar becomes afraid. Jashoda biyo rukala dhavaman, Jashoda bhaya. He's afraid. And he's like, Muhushasha kampa tririkanta kang. He's like, afraid. He forgets his God. He forgets his God. And Ma Jashoda, she doesn't think he's God. She's chasing him to chastise him. That's Leela. That's Leela. That's what that he enjoys. He's Param Purushotam, the supreme enjoyer. Param Purushotam, Purusha, enjoyer. Param Purushotam, supreme enjoyer. I sometimes think that he chose to be born in Navadip. He could have taken birth in anywhere, to appeared anywhere, any situation, any time. Any time. He chose that on the banks of Ganga. And the Navadip, which is the city of the scholars. Chaturdik hoite log, Navadipe jai, Navadipe porle she, Biddarash pai. Vrindavan Das Thakur explains, from all directions, Chaturdik hoite log, Navadip jai. The scholars were coming to Navadip, because Navadip was the place of learning. Navadip porle, if you study in Navadip porle she, Biddarash pai, you get a taste for learning. He chose that environment. And he chose to be born in the family of the Brahmins, and he chose to become a Nimai Pandit, Navadip Chandra, the rising moon of Navadip, Dvijamani, the crest jewel of the Navadip Brahmins, to enjoy. And all Prabhupada says, he says that he appears wherever he is present. He's present with his paraphernalia, his name, form, associates and servants. And that's all coordinated according to his pleasure. So therefore, to play, he wants to be this child because he wants to be the child of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata because he wants to fulfill their desire. He wants to fulfill their desire. He wants to reciprocate. Jai Jatamam Prapadante Tang Tataiva Bhajami Aham. You want to worship him in that mood, he will appear to you in that mood because he wants to have reciprocation with the jivas. That's the ultimate purpose of existence, to have reciprocation, relationship. And in the material world we have perverted reflections of family life, husband, wife, father, son, father, daughter, everything is enjoyment is based on that. You can't enjoy alone. When the Pandavas, they went wandering in the forest, not the Pandavas, the Kauravas, after usurping the kingdom, they wanted to go on a pleasure cruise to the forest, Bonbash, where the Pandavas were in exile, and have a look and see how they were suffering. They took all the queens and the princesses and along with them to enhance. So relationships, they enhance it's all about enjoying with others. That's because it's the original constitutional position of the jiva, to have relationship with Krishna and his associates and according to your taste. So therefore, in order to fulfill those desires of the living and reciprocate and enhance enjoyment, Akaya Shukam Akshayam Ashnute, Bhagavad Gita 5th chapter, Shukam Akshayam, it gets better and better. It gets better and better. Material world, complete opposite. The more material pleasure is there, whereas Chopal Shuk. In fact, the material senses, the more you try to exclude, squeeze out the pleasure, the less pleasurable it becomes. In the material world, the more you enjoy the sensual pleasure, it becomes less and less pleasurable. The material, in the spiritual reality, it becomes more and more pleasurable. It's called Shukam Akshayam Ashnute, unending Shuk. It increases. And we experienced something of that. A little bit of that. We sang the song Golokera Prema Dhan Harinama Shankirtan. The riches, the prem, the dhan, the wealth, which is loving God, Goloka de Premadhan, Harinama Sankirtan, we can taste in the Harinam Sankirtan. So that also becomes more and more pleasurable. As you chant, as you sing, as you dance, then it becomes more and more pleasurable. As you do it. This is the original order Ishwar Puri gave to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nache gao bhakti shange koro sankirtan. Krishna nam ubadeshita sharvajan. Nache, dance. This is the order that Ishwar Puri gave to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the time of initiation. Nache. Nache, dance, gao, sing. Nache gao bhakti shange, in the association of the devotees. Koro sankirtan. Do sankirtan. That's our fundamental, that's what it means to be Gaudiya Vaishnava. This is our fundamental activity. Dancing, singing in the association of the devotees. And Krishna Nam Upadeshi Tara Sharvajan. Tara, deliver. Sharvajan. Everybody, Krishna Nam Upadeshi, by instructing them in the science of Krishna Nam. Krishna. So we get the taste, that taste of the Golokya Prem Dham. We get that by chanting and dancing. And you see that as you'd like to dance more and more. And you like to sing more and more. You like to glorify Krishna more and more. You like to hear the glories of Krishna more and more. You like to serve Krishna more and more, do more and more. We just spent a few days with Prana Prabhu just before he left. I could see his level of relishing. He made Vrindavan, he'd reached Vrindavan. And he was with the devotees. He was enjoying, even though his body was giving him so much pain. He was relishing within the taste of loving Krishna that he had developed as a result of sadhana practice through his whole life. He was relishing that taste. And I could see that he's going to Krishna, or he's going to serve Krishna in the next, wherever he is in the next life. He's going to carry on, because that taste it doesn't reduce. That taste, that which is what the soul is hankering for. That taste, you have to cultivate that by practicing sadhana, and it increases more and more. That love of God, it is a natural condition of the soul. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Shraddha Kabunoi. Shraddha means achieving. It's called sadhan shraddha, the practice and the goal. So Shraddha Kabunoi means you never achieve. Why is that? Because it's already there. It's not something one day. Kabu Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Kabu Sadhunoi. Kabu, you never achieve it. What does that mean? Because it's already there. But it's become covered. Shravanadi, based by hearing, Shravanadi, based on hearing, primarily by hearing, is Upadeshamrita quoted, Prabhupada quotes this verse. Shravanadi means primarily by hearing, or based on hearing, or first by hearing, or hearing is number one priority. Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte, heart and consciousness becomes pure, Shuddha Chitte, Koraya Udhoi. And that love, Krishna Prema, which is already there but has become covered, that again awakens. Udoi means arousal. It becomes arousal. It can't be stopped. Can't be contained. Udoi, Shujja Udoi. The sun rises. You can't stop it. It's called Udoi, arising, awakening, arising. Udoi. Shravanadi, Shuddha Chitte, Koraya Udoi. Then there is awakening, there is arousal of that original love of God, based on hearing, on hearing. And then Jagannath Mishra, he's so angry when the Brahmins and the Brahma Kumaris, the Navadip Kumaris, the daughters of the Brahmins in Navadip, they also went and complained to Shachimata. They complained that we can't, he gives us such a disturbance. We're going to the Ganga to worship Durga Devi, to worship Ma Ganga, to worship Mahadev. That is the culture in Gaur Mandal Bhumi, for the young girls, unmarried girls, at the banks of Ma Ganga to worship and seek benedictions from Dev Devata, desiring to worship Lord Shiva for a husband who's like Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is Vaishnava. That's culture. And the girls in Navadip, they're also eternal associates. How do you get to see Gaudhari on the banks of Ma Ganga? You think that's just by chance? How do you get to be a school associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Oh, I just happened to be around at that time. You're with him in every appearance. There's no limit to the eternal associates. And they all come and do little offerings. Those people there, the students of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we only hear of them once or twice. But they appear just for that. Someone has to be his students. Someone has to be his school friends. And that's why he chose it. He arranged the whole thing. It's like a whole party. And you're coming, we're coming every party. We just go along with him. And they're upset with him. They're very angry. He comes down to the Ganga. They're doing the puja for Lord Shiva. Ama puja koro, worship me. Gaudhari comes. He's just this big. He's 3-4 years old. Ama puja koro, worship me. He interrupts their worship. Ama puja koro. Ami Devo Bar, I will give benedictions. Ganga, Durga, Dashimur, Mahesh, Kinka. Ganga, Durga, Dashimur. Ma Ganga, Ma Durga, they're my servants. Dashimur. Mahesh, Kinka, Lord Shiva, he's my follower. So just worship me. Just worship me. And they're very upset. And they're very upset. And they're saying, and how you say these things, Nimai? You keep your mouth shut. And they're chastising him. This is Gaudhari avatar, Chaitanya avatar. The same conclusions that on the chariot in Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna to Arjuna and all humanity declares, Aham sarvasya prabhava, matta sarvam prabha. Everything emanates from me. Matta sarvam prabha today. I am the controller of all spiritual and material worlds. Aham kratur, aham jagyai, swadaham, I am the mantra, I am the offering, I am the oshad. All of these things which he clearly declares. Chaitanya Avatar, Gaudhari, in a playful, like a childhood, like a kid's play, he declares the same conclusions. Just consider Chaitanya Avatar. And all the Brahmins, of course, they're all complaining. They go in a big group. They go in a big group, not just one. It's more significant. It's how can you ignore 15, 20 men come to your home to make a complaint? You have to, it's a serious business. So they all gather together as a group and they go. And can you just imagine Jagannath Mishra sitting in the courtyard and he's hearing the first Brahmin says, I set up all the stuff for puja and I'm taking my bath and I look, he sits on the asan, he eats the boga, he takes the chandan, he puts it on him, he takes the garland and the other things he throws away and he looks at me and says, Thakur, be blessed. The object of your puja has been satisfied. Other Brahmins are standing there waist deep in the Ganga chanting their mantra. Nimai comes, spits water in their face. Who are you meditating on? Meditate on me. I am the incarnation for the age. And laughs, goes off with his friends. This happens every day. He stays there for hours. They're frustrated. They go to Jagannath Mishra, we can't take bath. We have to several times. They come out, he throws sand on them, he spits on them. They have to take bath. They're very frustrated. Jagannath Mishra, can you imagine 15, 20 aristocratic Brahmins from Navadip, and you're also in the Brahmin society, and they come and they're lodging all these complaints. Jagannath Mishra fuming with anger. He's up and down on the banks of the Ganga. Where is Nimai? Where is Nimai? And his friends say, he didn't come today. He didn't come. He's frustrated like anything, goes home. And then Nimai comes on the path. He's coming, walking back from school. He looks just like he left for school. The same hair tied, the same clothes. There's a little dhoti and uttari he's wearing. And he's got the ink blotches. From being in school, he's got ink blotches on his cloth, on his... Vrindavanist Thakur says like a golden champa. Golden champa? Champa? A golden champa surrounded by bumblebees. That's what he looks like as Gaudhari is walking on the path. There's spots of ink. Ma, give the oil, I'll go to Ganga and take bath. They're astonished. What? All these people came? But he didn't even go to the Ganga. Ma, give me the oil. Take bath. They give him the oil, he comes back. Gaudhari runs to the Ganga, takes bath. And they're discussing, what is this? How is this possible? You think all these Brahmins fabricated these complaints? And all the Kumaris, how is it possible? But our son, he's just like he's been, Hare completely as it was. He hasn't been to the Ganga. And as they're thinking like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes home immediately, he runs and he climbs on the lap of his father. How would that feel? Gaudhari comes and climbs up on your lap and embraces you, like your son. How would that feel? Putra darshanande guchilo bichar. Putra darshanande. The bliss that he experienced seeing his son come and climb on his lap. Putra darshanande guchilo bichar. All of that concern, all of that bichar, all of this, he's thinking what the Brahmin said and he didn't go to the Ganga. All that he forgot completely. He forgot. Being so overwhelmed with affection. Putra darshanande. That's why they forget. That's why they forget. Because the relationship is so deep, the relationship is unendingly fulfilling. And I just enjoy that. Sneha punno hoilo duha kichu nahi ar. Putra darshanande guchilo bicha sneha punno. Sneha punno duha kichu nahi ar. Only they only can think about affection. Their whole existence is simply loving Gaudhari. And they're mad. And material, their day-to-day activities is all just going on. And love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, love for Krishna is so strong that it just completely absorbs their entire consciousness and entire heart. And in that way they fulfill their desires to love and serve the Lord. Any questions on today's verse? Anuruddha Prabhu.
Thank you. Little. Welcome.
Thank you.
It seems like, it's obvious that the childhood pastimes of Krishna are very attractive. It kind of makes things hard when we see that he's always getting into trouble and making people angry. It seems to be like, we want our children to behave themselves, yet Krishna is always misbehaving.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of, what kind of a God is he?
What kind of a boy is he? What kind of a God is he? Yeah.
He's always getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And yet, and it's funny, isn't it? When he's a child, then nobody can take him seriously. But when he's on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he speaks to Bhagavad-gita, everybody is very respectful.
Yeah. That's
good. The childhood pastimes are actually the most endearing in many respects.
Yeah.
And even the Rasa Lila is considered to be the highest. Yet he's breaking all of the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Prabhupada, he explains, in regard Krishna and the Rasa Lila, Prabhupada says that most people are confused. In India, they don't understand. And therefore, Prabhupada, he didn't go into that as he was spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, because people are bewildered by that. And it's later in the Bhagavatam. And also Chaitanya Lila is also, it's a graduate level, postgraduate level. Chaitanya Bhagavat is the Lila the whole time, from beginning to end. It's just Lila, just hearing. And you just hear. We're discussing, courses on Chaitanya Bhagavat courses. What can you do? It's just, the whole thing is Lila. It's just hearing. It's just meant for hearing. So that's advanced. It's advanced practice. It's not meant for beginners it's meant for someone who already has understanding of tattva, that we're fallen into this world, and it's not meant for like preaching and spreading Krishna consciousness, discussion amongst the Vaishnavas. So we can, the common person are bewildered, but Prabhupada doesn't, as he's preaching and he's teaching the basics of Krishna consciousness to newcomers. You can imagine when Prabhupada is preaching all over the world, in his class, as he's given the classes, there would have been so many new people. In all of Prabhupada's classes, there's so many new people that come for the first time because they came to see the great Swami, the great world spiritual leader, as Prabhupada was so known and famous, and people would come. So many extraordinary people, so many new people, they'd come just because of Prabhupada, to see Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is obviously, in his lectures and his preaching, he's addressing that. He's addressing the people who are there. So this is we can, as for Vaishnavas, the Vaishnav Shammelan, the Vaishnav Shanga, Satam Prashanga, the purified hearers. Shatam Prashangam Mama Virya Shambhada. Then what is that? Bhavanti Ritkana Rasayanakata. Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayanakata. In the Ritkarna, in the heart and in the ear, you enjoy. But that's Satam Prashangam. That's those who are purified listeners, who are purified and less influenced by the lower modes. So we can enjoy and we can relish those pastimes. But also there's a saying in English, boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. So when he comes to enjoy childhood, and so he's a naughty boy, both Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's enjoyment. That's enjoyment. Vrindavan Das Thakur does make a comment. Actually, maybe Chaitanya Charitamrita Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he says that Emote Arshadja Dekai Emote Nanamote Arshadja Prakash Arshadja Dekai. In this way, Bal Bhav Prakatyo Paschat Lukai. He says that in the first 5 years, Bal Lila, Bhav, up to 5 years. Actually, these chapters, Chaitanya Charitamrita 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, they're each describing 5-year period. Bal Lila, Joban Lila, Kishore Lila, and Jugal of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Up to his 5, all Navadip Lila. It's divided 5 years. And first, each chapter of Adi Lila 13, 14, they're describing one of those periods. So he says there that Emote Nana Babe Arshadja Dekai, in the Bal Lila, he shows all these mystical, and sometimes just to get out of trouble. Get out of trouble. He enjoys on the Ganga and disturbs everyone. They're all outraged. And then he uses his mystic power, Arshadja Dekai, as godly power he displays, and to avoid getting punished. So it's like he's a naughty child and he has his mystic powers which he uses to further enhance his enjoyment and misbehavior. He says that Ballabab Prakatiya Paschat Lukai. After that, he doesn't do that. He doesn't, the Vidyalila as a scholar, as a teacher, then he doesn't display his opulence as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then we wait all the time till he goes and gets initiated in Gaya by Ishwar Puri, and then he comes back and he's a changed person. Parama Adbhut Kota Maha Ashambhav Nimai Pandit Hoilo Parama Vaishnav. They couldn't believe. He's changed completely. He's not argumentative, he's not debating, he's not challenging. He's become a humble Vaishnava. He's crying the whole time. Even when you say Pada Padma Tirtha, you say Gaya, the name, tears erupt from his eyes like the flowing of Ganga. So the different periods of his life, they're different chapters, and he's enjoying in different ways. The Vidyalila, he would ridicule the Vaishnavas. They're always, they avoid me. They avoid me. He asked one of the students, why are there the Vaishnavas, they're coming, they're avoiding me, why is that? They're turning the other direction. The student says, oh, maybe they remembered some important work that had to be done. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I'm always discussing Vyakaran, Alankar, grammar. So they're not interested. They're only, and he's glorifying the Vaishnavas in a way. He's saying they're only interested in hearing about Krishna and chanting about Krishna and worshipping Krishna. They're not interested in this, so they avoid me. That's a Vidyalila. He's enjoying that. Because he's Nimanchi, he's Navadip Chandra. When he appears in the house of the scholars, he becomes the most brilliant scholar. And that's his enjoyment. Thank you, Prabhu, for the question.
It's interesting that we have a similar situation in Krishna Leela where the cowherd ladies come and complain en masse to devotees that their son is so naughty.
Yeah. Well, actually, those girls, when they came to Sachimata, they're saying, you know, we heard that in Vrindavan, Nanda Dulal, he does these types of things. You know, he's just, you know, as naughty as Nanda Dulal was.
It's interesting that this is the etiquette, because we don't hear Prabhupada talking about the Rasa Leela, or even the Raja Leela, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, anybody's Leela actually. Some things there always. But the etiquette, and even the Bhagavatam's like this, we have Leela, then we have Sambandha. There's an explanation of the relationship. And Prabhupada adhered to that very strictly, that there may be some discussion of Leela, but it's always predicated and concluded with Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of relationship. And so it appears that, as you were saying, it's important where this kind of information is actually revealed or discussed. And it's not generally done in public. And even Prabhupada didn't do it in private, interestingly enough. What are your thoughts on that?
I commented that, I mean, Prabhupada was awakening the world in who they are. You know, so, I mean, Prabhupada's predominantly you're hearing him quoting from Bhagavad Gita, because people are in the Bhagavad Gita because that was the need at that time with the people that Prabhupada was preaching to. But those books are there, where these leelas are described. Burijan Prabhu told me that Śrīmad Bhāgavatam told his preachers to read Chaitanya Bhagavat 100 times. 100 times before studying, and then Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, and Śrīmad Bhāgavatam translated Chaitanya Bhagavat, and his translation. I think he was the first Acharya. I don't think there's other commentaries on Chaitanya Bhagavat. So everything has its place, because it's there. It's pleasurable. That's where we get our enjoyment. That's where we get our enjoyment. When we hearing these pastimes, meditating on these pastimes, remembering, you'll remember, and particularly the Navadip Leela, we can relate to it. There's devotees and dhotis, and there's studying, and Brahmins, and Mayapur. We can relate to those things. So we can, by hearing and remembering those things, it changes our perspective on the day-to-day life that we lead, and it helps us become Krishna conscious. So that's my perspective on it.
Another question.
Yeah.
How much should the Sankirtan be part of our lives on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis, do you think?
Yeah, well, as much as possible. As much as possible. But we do hear recommendations of 2 hours Sankirtan. If you attend the program, it's about 2 hours. If you attend morning and evening program of Kirtan, right? Half an hour Mangaladi, and then Guru Puja Darshanadi is a half an hour, and then evening, an hour Kirtan. So 2 hours a day Sankirtan, that's powerful sadhana practice, 2 hours a day Sankirtan. But when you read the Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, I mean, he's predominantly doing Sankirtan. We don't hear him. We don't hear them sitting and chanting japa, but naturally they were. Occasionally some mentions, but it's 90% of their association with the Vaishnavas. They're performing Sankirtan. I mean, the Puri Leela, at any opportunity, the devotees will perform Sankirtan. So much they'll immediately they perform Sankirtan. It's just almost like they take every opportunity to perform Sankirtan. I mean, we could do more. Originally, we were talking about Prabhupada's style of preaching. Originally, the devotees were going out in this temple, in this town. The devotees were going out every day for 6 hours Sankirtan, and that's what that was at Prabhupada's time. So that was 6 hours a day, and then the temple program, the kirtan back in the temple, but it's Harinam every day, 6 hours, or 6 or 7 days a week. I think 6 days a week. And no one, Prabhupada never said, that's a bit too much. It's a bit too much Sankirtan. And in Mayapur, it's meant to be constant. There's this Nitya Kirtan. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, Haraya nama Krishna Yadhavaya namaha Gopal Govindaram Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Another form of the Mahamantra, and very, very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he says it should be chanted all the time, especially in Mayapur. He says this you can include now. We've already given you Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. In addition to this mantra and Panchatattva mantra, you should also chant this mantra, Haraya Nama Krishna, Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, another form of the Mahamantra, and should especially be chanted in Mayapur. So these holy dhams, like Vrindavan, is constantly kirtan. And many devotees I know, they go and they spend a few months in Vrindavan and they do the kirtan every day. Singhabhatta's son, Singhabhatta Prabhu, he was a devotee here few decades ago, Singhabhatta from Ukraine, Latvia. So his son is there doing in a 24-hour kirtan. They have an ashram for those devotees doing 24-hour kirtan, and they have shifts and the kirtan's going on non-stop. And we were able to arrange those 24-hour kirtaniya devotees to come and do kirtan for Prana Prabhu in the last few days of his presence with us. So in the holy dhams, the kirtan meant to be going on all the time, that any time you can go down to the temple and join in the kirtan, any time of the day. So as much as possible. Ratina janmilo kenetai, we just sang the song. Goloketa prema dhan, the wealth, the prema dhan of Goloka. Goloketa prema dhan, Harinam Shankir. Ratina janmilo kenetai. And Narottam Thakur says, why I didn't develop a taste? Ratina janmilo, why a taste didn't awaken? Why a taste didn't awaken in my life? So in the kirtan. N.H. Oshad. N.H. Oshad, I bought the medicine. Maya nashi baro lage, which destroys that illusion that we're afflicted by. What is that? Harinama Mahamantra. Harinama Mahamantra lao tumi mage. You take that Mahamantra and you chant with the devotees. So as much as possible. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, we see how the Vrindavan temple is located in Raman Reti because Lord Krishna and Balaram used to play there with all their sakhas. So is there any specific pastime for the Mayapur temple because of its location?
Because of its location?
Yes. Is there like a special story?
Wow, I wish you had another hour. We could talk about Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. Gaur Mandal Bhumi. Jebajani Chintamani, the whole of Gaur-Mandal is spiritual. Prabhupada specific, and there's that song, Sri Gauranga Shadaran Mahima. It begins, Gauranga Dute Pada, the two lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jar Dhana Shampad, for those who, that's their life and wealth. Shai Jani Bhakati Arikari, they are Bhakata Shar, they know the essence of devotional life. And then in purporting that verse, Prabhupada says that on this planet, India is very significant. Bharat Bhumi, Tapa Bhumi, And so all the Acharyas appeared in India. The Lord, he appears avatar in Bharat Bhumi. And he says, with India, Bengal is even more purified. And he says, within Bengal and Nadia, this district, Nadia also means Navadip. And at that time it was called Nadia. Now it's a whole bigger district in modern Bengal geography, but then it was particularly Navadip area. Is even more purified because, and then the most pure is Jogbit. Most purified is Jogbit. We were there we went to Tera Kadamba, where Rupa Goswami stayed, and the devotees were saying, oh, the most important place for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So I was thinking, because Prabhupada says that the Yogpit is the Yogpit. That's why it's special. That's why, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there. And his lila, his 48 years, the place he spent most time was Navadip. He spent half his time of appearance in Navadip, 24 years. And then he travelled for 6 years. 6 years. Er Modde Choi Bochu Gamon Agamon. From Puri, he travelled. That Madhya Lila. It's only 6 years, period. But it's the most significant because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching. Tar Modde Choi Bochu Gamon Agamon. Kabu Dokin, Kabu Gaur, Kabu Brindavan. In that 6 year period, he travelled. Gamon Agamon, coming and going from Puri. Kabu Gaur, he went to Bengal again to deliver Rupa and Satan. Kabu Dokin, he went South Indian tour, 2 years. Kabu Brindavan. Then he went to Brindavan, and on the way back, Rupa and Sanatan and Prakashananda Saraswati. So all of those key incidents where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Roy, Prakashananda Saraswati, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, which Prabhupada describes in the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. That was all in Madhya Lila. And then he came back to Puri, spent 18 years remaining in Puri, the last 18 years. So 24-year period, that's where he spent most time. And he was living in Jogbit. 24 Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yogpit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent 24 years there. And all over Nadia. E Shikhani Shab Nadia, Fiche Neche Gaunitai. Radha Krishna Bol Re Shabai. E Shikhaniya, taking this feature, Shab Nadia. Means all around Navadip, 9 islands. E Shikhani Shab Nadia, Fiche Neche. Wandering and dancing. Fiche Neche Gaunitai. So that's why it's everything about Navadip is Chintamani Dham, E Gaurmandal, Chit Anandamoy, Shakal Chinmoy. This Chintamani Rup, E Gaurmandal, is spiritual. Chit Anandamoy Dham, Shakal Chinmoy. Everything there is spiritual. Jol Bhumi Brika, Adi, means the water, the earth, the trees. Jol Bhumi Brika, Adi, Shakal Chinmoy, Achincha Shakti Karja, Prapanchika Noi. It's made of spiritual energy, not material. And the center, why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there and performed his pastimes. So the most spiritually surcharged place is the Jogbit. And of course we have Mayapur Chandradaya Mandir, which is described by Nityananda Prabhu. Adbhut Mandir, Hoibe Prakash. He's describing what we're building there. From the lips of Nityananda Prabhu, he's describing to Jiva Goswami. So that also, this Mayapur Chandradaya Mandir, the Temple of Vedic Planetarium, that's also an extremely special and purified, extraordinary place from which the Sankirtan movement will expand and spread all over the world. So that place, Mayapur, ISKCON, is an extremely extraordinary place. And to be able to live there, to be able to participate in the development of that project and to develop that of that mandir, for one who has that opportunity, they're extremely blessed. They're taking part in history. So what an opportunity. We have a special, our generation, we pray to be able to see the Panchatattva worshipped in the TOVP. As predicted by Nityananda Prabhu to Jiva Goswami, that manifestation, upon that, the Sankirtan movement will spread all over the world. So how important is the TOVP and ISKCON Mayapur?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Jai. Anyway, Prabhu.
That's why we have the Panchatattva there.
That's extraordinary.
And Prabhupada said, Yogapit is Lord Chaitanya's Janmastan,
Yeah.
And Mayapur is my karma stan, and it's where we do as you say, it's the source of the Sankirtan movement. And that's why we worship Krishna Balaram in Raman Reti, and we worship Panchatattva in Sri Mayapur Dham.
I was quoting from Navadip Dham Mahatmya when I said Jogpit, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that. And so, but Prabhupada is actually making Jogpit known all over the world. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Navadip Dham Mahatmya. Prabhupada, he's making it, you know. So, like the baton has been handed on to Prabhupada. Mayapur was first of all established by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They didn't even know that it was the Lord's Lilashtan, Janmashtan. People didn't know. It was all forgotten. Thakur Bhaktivinoda, he came and he revealed. Navadip Dham Mahatmya, he's written, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Thakur, he organized preaching. Next level, temples, institution. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Thakur, Prabhupada became a member of that institution. And then Prabhupada is expanding those previous acharyas, further expanding that. And so it's Prabhupada's temple in Mayapur. Most holy place on the planet. Because from that, the Navadip Dham's glories and Krishna's glories are being revealed to the world, which hadn't been done for 5,000 years. So isn't that place special?
And it all exists within the atom.
Jai. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki.
Using